Hey guys, Will here, Will's Toy Clearance, selling part 2 of the Pro Tip series. Boom! Okay guys, so whether it's eBay, whether it's Spark, whatever you're selling on, there are main things that I tend to do. So, first one is use up all your photos. So take good, well lit, detailed photos of what you're selling. So, I don't know, if I'm selling this can, whatever, I would take a photo of both sides, or as much as you can, the bottom, the top. If there was any inside to it, I'd do that. And you've got to make sure the light is on it. So if I was taking a photo of this side, the light would have to come in here, and it'd all have to be well lit with no shadows. And you use up as many photos free, because let's not pay for this, let's be cheap. It all maximises the profit, so your max amount of photos, the most detail you can get in them. Before you even look at anything else, photos are key. Second, when it comes to selling, is how much is this worth? So, I use eBay, so I'll type in, I don't know, 1989 Wacky Action Donatello. Look it up. Go to sold listings, take the 5 most recent sold listings of the same condition figure, so if he's missing his accessories, if he's complete, whatever. And then, scientifically, I add them all up and divide by 5. And that gives you a going rate for what you're selling. Now, if you want it gone, take another, I don't know, 20 to 30% off that figure you've come out with, and it should sell reasonably quickly. Post I don't count as like part of the value as such, so I'll still stick on small parcel £3.95 second class signed for. Again, another little tip there, always send signed for, because people nowadays are going, I've not received it, and then you have to refund them, and you know they've had it because the Royal Mail aren't that bad. They don't lose 500 parcels a week, so you know, sign for is key. You can even get tracked if it's worth more than, I'd say, 50 quid. So you can trace where it's been. But you know, when it comes to pricing, work out the average, knock a bit off if you want it sold cheap. When it comes to listing it as an auction or a buy it now, depending, like this is for eBay specifically, if it's auction, it depends how much it owes you and what you want out of it. I mean, if you don't particularly mind keeping it for a bit, you know, stick it on for the full value minus a penny. So if it comes out an average of 20 quid, I always stick it up for 19.99, or you know, the whole original makes it sound cheaper sort of look. But if you're sticking it on a buy it now, I usually find making whole numbers better, so 20 quid or 25 quid with post, you know, so that's up to you. So once you've photographed it, found out its value, it comes to actually listing it. So when it comes to like Star Wars, there's that many different categories on eBay. Again, I'm going to stick to eBay, guys, because that's going to be the most complicated to use. If you're using Spock, it just comes in toys. If you're using other sites, it usually just comes in toys or games or whatever. But when it comes to eBay, a lot of my stuff, taking Star Wars for instance, is listed under Star Wars 1977. It's the automatic thing eBay comes up with, and it seems more people see it through a different test I did. I put up the same item that I've got plenty of under like Star Wars 1977, Star Wars collectible figures, Star Wars this, you know, I went through the whole lot with it, and Star Wars 1977 was the thing that most people saw. Whether you think that's unfair of me to do that, I don't know, but it helps more people see it, because it's obvious it's not going to be Star Wars 1977 if it's a Star Wars Episode 1 figure. Yet it still works out better if you put it under Star Wars 1977, because more people seem to see it and buy it, even though it's under the wrong category. I don't know what to say about that really, but that's, from my experience, what I've found works. If that works for you guys, let me know in the comments, or if there's anything you do that perhaps I've not mentioned, stick that down in the comments, and let's help each other out, guys. But that's what I found. But when it does come to categories, obviously Star Wars is a massive market, but if you're looking at other things, it should be quite straightforward. There's usually I don't know, Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it might give you a date bracket. Or so try and list it in most cases under the correct category and as precisely as possible. So when you're writing the title to it, so if you've got a 1989 Wacky Action Donatello, on my listing would be Wacky Action Donatello, Mirage Studios, 1989, Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I stick both in there because most people either know it as one or the other and don't tend to search for both. So, and it does differ on the listing, so I would put both in. So that's what I'd do for listing for category and for title. When it comes to description, I don't tend to say this is mint. I'd put under what it is, if that makes sense. So I'd say near mint or very good condition, or I'll usually put as a bit of a cop out, but it's a fair analysis. C picks for condition or description, you know, because what I call mint, you might not call mint. What I call a flat card, you may not call a flat card. There's very few things where different views on something will match up. So one man's mint is another man's near mint. It all depends on how you're collecting. With loose stuff, I'll usually, you know, light play wear, heavy play wear, paint loss, tight limbs, loose limbs. I put all that in like bullet points, perhaps in my description sometimes, so it makes it clear what the condition is, and I find that really helps. It also helps with people knowing what people are buying, because if I know when I'm buying stuff, that's what I look for. I look for a detailed description telling me exactly what that figure condition is or what that box condition's like, and mix that with the photos as well. So, you know, when you're thinking of a description, what would you want to know about what you're selling, and try and fill those categories in. And I always put on the bottom, any questions please ask, because, you know, it inspires a bit more confidence in your buyer going, oh well, if there's something I didn't want to know, you know, he's okay if I ask him. So that helps. When listing as well, I tend to put GSP, so the Global Shipping Program. I've never had a problem with it. Everything that I've put on or used that with has got there, no problems. Always had positive feedback, it's always arrived pretty much on time, so I would urge you to use that. And it doesn't cost anything, guys. It is free for you as a seller if they use that, because you just send it to the shipping centre, and then the shipping centre charges them the import costs, the extra postage to get it to wherever it is. So I'd highly recommend ticking that, guys. It doesn't cost anything, it does help things sell. I'd say about nearly 50% of my stuff goes abroad nowadays, so, you know, it's well worth well, ticking and using. I really do find it helps. So I did hit on postage, always using sign full postage, so you're guaranteeing it's getting there. But also, you know, don't list everything as a small parcel if it's not going to be a small parcel. Try and get it as accurate as possible, not for just you, but for me. I've made mistakes before when I've put a lot together, and when I've come to parcel it up, it's actually been a medium parcel and not a small parcel, so I've lost out. But I stick to my word, and I said it's, you know, only charge them for a small parcel. So, you know, be careful, guys. Make sure it's accurate. The weight as well, it's always good to have a pair of scales, because it's like 2 kilograms with Royal Mail and this, that and the other. But if you go into any post office, there should be a price guide, and that should tell you the weights and the lengths and everything. So pick one of those up, guys. They are quite useful. It also comes up with international shipping if they don't want to use GSP for whatever reason. Some bloke from Italy was contacting me saying it's cheaper if I send it via Royal Mail without sending it through the Global Shipping Centre, which it was by about 20p, and he wouldn't have it, so I just cancelled the order on him, because you do get people like that. And for 20p, guys, the cover you get through using the Global Shipping Program is a lot more than you get through Royal Mail on its own. So, again, another good reason to use the Global Shipping Program. And I think that's basically it, guys. Duration of listing, I've been sticking to 7 days recently. I've had the stuff on for 30 days, especially bike nows, and I don't know, it doesn't seem to sell. But the urgency of having it on a 7-day listing seems to make people go, oh, there's only so long left on it, I better buy it now. Same with auctions. I mean, I have tried a couple of 5-day auctions, but they tend to go for less money. I don't know how that works. I suppose less people get to see it. I think 7 days is the magic number. And from my experience, guys, that's really all there is to say. If there's any other questions or anything I haven't covered, please ask in the comments. I'll answer it the best I can. When it comes to shipping, there is a lot to think about, so if I have missed anything out, just stick it in the comments and I'll answer you as soon as I can. If you've got any specific problems or inquiries about certain cases, again, ask me down below and I'll answer best I can. So until next time, sneet snadders neat, laters.